Hey everybody, this is Miss Florida Hot Picks here, giving you guys an update for Pick 3 Maryland. We had a special request asking about V triples and V false triples. And I want to share with you a really cool pattern using a key digit number. Because you will see quite a few false trips. I noticed there are certain ones that are bringing some really cool hits. Now, I can't guarantee this will happen every time, so I want you to do your due diligence. I want you to study and backtrack, play on paper first. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I got a couple examples here. I'm trying to make this simple and quick and easy for everyone, okay? So January 7th, midday, Maryland had a hit of 579. And I want to show you where a hit came from here, okay, and the areas you may want to pay close attention to, okay. So at least when you see these things, your eyes can go to a particular area and you're not aimlessly just picking all kinds of numbers, right? We want the hottest numbers possible for your state, and every state has its own unique pattern, okay? Even though 317 may work in other places, just pay attention to what your state's patterns are doing. So on January 7th, once again, midday was 579. If you don't know how to put one of the rundowns together, we'll quickly just count the first column so you get an idea of how to do this yourself, which is very simple. So we're going to add each of these numbers down the columns. So the first column, we're going to add 3. So 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. When you get to your two-digit numbers, only use your ones place, your 1, okay? 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. Use your 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. Use your 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. All right? So when you get to your, when you're trying to figure out if you did this correctly, the number you start with should be the number you end with. Okay? And then you would add 1 all the way down the second column, 7 all the way down the third column. So Maryland, once you have your rundown completed, I want you to pay attention to what we call V triples or false triples, okay? They're in the shape of a V. And in between those areas, especially if you're using key digit numbers, okay, I want you to pay close attention to that. Key digit numbers that I'm looking at are your 2s and 7s, okay? And that's your 2s and your 7s. Let's talk about that. So in here, you'll see these green numbers. You see a 7, 2, 7, okay? 2, 7, 2. Now, these are what you call mirror numbers, okay? And what's important about them is that if you don't know what mirror numbers are, you'll totally miss these. You know how when we see triples, we think of 7, 7, 7 or 2, 2, 2. Well, sometimes we have what we call false trips, and they could be 7, 2, 7, any order, or 2, 7, 2. Okay, and as you see here, we have false trip, but they're mirrors. The 2 and 7 is actually the same number, it's just the opposite of itself. So mirror numbers are as follows: 0 could be a 5, 5 could be 0, 1 could be 6, 6 could be a 1, 2 could be 7, 7 could be a 2, 3 could be 8, 8 could be a 3, 4 could be a 9, and a 9 could be a 4. Okay, so that's what we mean by mirror numbers. Okay, all right. What I've noticed is, especially on the right side of the rundown, I'm seeing the patterns forming right around, okay? And inside, you'll see that it may repeat itself several times, but it just depends on how the numbers are. So when you look at this, pay attention to all the angles. So in a V shape, you see 410, right? If you're going another V shape in the other area, you see a 014, right? If you're going the other area, you'll see 410 again, right? 014 again. So this number repeats itself all over. And a lot of people may miss out. So that's the cool thing about some V shapes, depending on the state. The number repeats itself in every angle. So again, 410, 014, 410, 410. You even have it in the corner, 410. I mean, it's amazing. So we got all those 410s telling you what? 410 could be hot, right? But also pay attention to your mirrors. Okay, your mirrors could be just as important, because what people don't understand is the after a certain point of the rundown, the rundown numbers are just mirrors. So you see how we start with 579? It mirrored itself to 024. But if you don't know what mirror numbers are, you'll totally not get this. So if we look at the 272 now the numbers are going to change a little bit. We got 965, 569, 569, 695, 956. Got the whole thing. So the two numbers that keep repeating itself is what? 410 and its mirror 965. So if you were to hold on to those numbers for a couple of days, or maybe the day that 014 hit January 7th evening, okay? So it looks like that was like a one draw turn around, which is very, very nice. They don't always happen like that, but be careful, okay? I notice with other numbers like 838, I don't really see too much pattern structure. They may have some other things going, but when you see key digits, pay attention to them, okay? I notice with key digits with states like your zeros, fives, your twos, and sevens, it brings on a particular pattern, and sometimes those patterns come out a lot quicker and faster. So this is why I'm telling everybody, pay attention to what your state is doing when you see key digit numbers, okay? But yeah, that 014 actually came out, and I'm gonna tap it around this angle for a reason, okay? Because this is the side that you may want to pay close attention to, your right side, and I'm gonna tell you why. But don't stay there, okay? But yeah, we have 410. It came out January 7th, that next draw. So that was a next draw hit. Was that bomb or what? Yes. Does it mean that every time you see V shape it's going to do that? Maybe not. I've seen zeros and fives, and there's some things going on, but the patterns are a little shaky. So be careful, okay? Go ahead and give your girl a thumbs up right now. That was hot, right? Yes. And if you know anybody that can use this workout, or you see a lot of V triples or false triples, I know Georgia has them, pay attention to see what the patterns are kicking out, okay? You'll be so surprised when you look at those, what numbers could be coming from those particular rundowns. The thing is, you're not going to see this every day. So when your eye catches it, it shows you where you need to go. I cannot stand if someone tells me, okay, just circle the date, some number, or just keep going around and around, and then I get all these numbers and I'm still off, right? We don't want that if possible. Can't guarantee it, but we don't want it. Okay, let's go to January 10th evening. There was a hit of 425. Notice right away, you got to pay attention to your rundown. 722, 277. Those false trips, they're also key digit numbers. Now pay attention, because the numbers are going to start mixing up a little bit, and you got to know mirrors. Okay, so watch this. All right, so let's say I'm starting from the 7-2s here. I'm going to go in every direction in a V shape. So I got 430. Look at that. All right. I got 039. Numbers changed, didn't they? 539. Okay. You have to make sure you're paying close attention to them. If we go to the 277, the numbers are going to change. So again, we're just copying V shape because it's a V shape. We're going to go 980, 8084, 985. And I think you got 584. That's a lot more numbers, isn't that? Things just got a little complicated, right? Ooh. So if they are hot, you notice, because look, the number structure is a little different. Notice how there's doubles on this particular one, but there are mirrors on this one. That could significantly change the number of options. You know how people say, I was so close, I was one off. This is why, because sometimes they have a lot of options. Remember I told you may want to stick to the right side? Let's see if we can eliminate, okay, by sticking to that pattern. Let's see what we come up with. All right. So I'm going to go on my right side and I'm just going to create that V shape. So we're going to go 084. Now what do I get? I get the 08. I'm sorry. I get the 084. Let me do that again. Sorry. So I get the 084 if I keep it to the right side. Okay. I get the 539 if I keep it to the right side. So now I've narrowed it down to the 2. That's if they don't get funky, Maryland. You know how it goes. But let's say we can do a process of elimination and maybe they'll stick to the right side. We're hoping for that, right? Well, if they do, 804 is what hit. And it's right here. 804. It hit right there. And it hit the next day, January 11th, midday. Nice. So these are the things I want y'all to pay attention to. There could be lots of options, sometimes mirroring, and sometimes we have to be careful. But pay attention to the patterns. They could help you out. But I got one more thing. We're going to talk about date sum numbers and date numbers. When you see your 7s and 2, they may correspond with the date number coming, so you know when to play them. Even though they are coming next day, pay attention if they decide that you have to hold on to those numbers. It could be a relation of date sum number. Not saying it will always be that way. This is what I mean. Okay? All right. So let's take a look at when the 014 hit. It hit January 7th. That's the day number. Okay? Notice we're working with key digits of 7. Okay? So this is telling me that this was nearby, this date was coming up, that this could be a possibility if they're doing it that way. But then the funniest thing happened. When the 840 came out, they didn't use the date number. The date number would just be 1. Okay? Whatever the date number is, you look at the 10th place, that's where it is. Just like the 7th would be your date number. If it's the 11th, the 1 would be your date number. Okay? But they did something else. They did what we call a date sum number. What's that? When we add the month and the date together, we get what? 12. Our date sum number is 2, or it's mere 7. Well, aren't these 7s and 2s as well? So this is telling y'all, I know, I open it, I know, that sometimes the V shapes can be connected to a nearest date number or a date sum. Could be. Pay attention to them. Okay? And sometimes if they want to throw you off, and they can, you might want to hold on to those numbers for a few days. Okay? So Marilyn, I hope this is helpful. I hope it's an eye-opener for you guys. Pay attention if you're looking at V shapes and you're looking at those patterns. These could be some hot patterns to start with. Okay? Well, that was it. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know how you guys are doing in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video.